Welcome to the VeroScope forensic linguistic analysis of the Wendi Adelson police interview, which occurred on July the 18th, 2014. In this video, you're going to learn about forensic linguistic analysis, which will allow you to identify when somebody is lying to you, is being deceptive to you, is somebody who is trying to manipulate you, or is somebody who is gaslighting you and is being outright deceptive. The lady that we're going to be analyzing today is this lady, Wendi Adelson. Her mother has actually been found guilty. This is her mother. And she has been found guilty of the murder of Dan Markel. And it is suspected that Wendi is also involved in the plotting and planning of hiring the hitmen. So we're going to be watching her police interview, but just before we do, I think it's worthwhile pinpointing some of the deception markers to keep a lookout for. Not all of them, because some people like to see them as we go through the analysis and see how many they find themselves. But let's run through some of the important ones. So we have time gaps. In statement analysis, when subjects voluntarily mention specific times without being asked, these times carry significance. The subject mentions them for a reason. It's important to them, and because it's important to them, it's important to us. So keep a lookout for when Wendi is very specific in her times, and also keep a lookout for when she's very vague in her times and when those differences are, because those will be important to her. Other things to look out for is the language regression indicators. She acts childish in front of the detective, who is her father's age, it would appear. And we see linguistics like "I'll hold it," which is child-appropriate bathroom language. You know, an adult might just say something like "I'm fine," or "No, I'm fine, don't worry about that." Not the childish crying and "I'll hold it" type of language. She's manipulating the detective, in my opinion. So look out for this childish act and this performance oscillation, because where it's important, she's a lawyer, where it's important for her to look at the strategic legal moments in the interview, she does, and where it isn't important for her to do that, she acts in her performance. Look out for the blue markers, the becauses and the so's, and when they cascade, because where they do, it's sensitive to her. And we also have pronoun breakdowns. We'll notice this I pattern. So keep a lookout for those. We'll go into this in more detail once we've heard the actual transcript. But this is giving you a quick look now for those that want to see how well they do. So let's play the video, and then we'll come back to the actual transcript itself.
You were telling me before, when we were riding up here, that the agreement was that you're all going to have some type of phone call at 11:15 this morning. Is that correct?
Well, not exactly, just that we needed to have the talk at some point before. We have to decide before Monday what to do about his school, where Ben's going to go to school, and he said, "I'm going to be done." I thought it was 11:15, but when we listened to the message, it was 10:30.
Okay.
When he said, "I'm going to be out of," he went to like a workout class at the gym.
At Premier.
At Premier. He said, "I'm going to be out of it by such and such a time. You can call me then." And I called, but I think we could see what time I called him. I thought it was more of like, let's see, recent calls. I called him. Well, that's him calling in at 9:02.
So notice she's volunteering this very specific time. So this is important to her for some reason. Also notice the speed of the I pronoun stuttering. Unless you're looking out for it, it's so easy to miss.
I called him at 11:42 and got his answering machine.
He called you at 9:02?
He called me at 9:02.
Mm-hmm.
The repair guy was there, and honestly, I leave my ringer off a lot of the time, so I didn't even hear the call come in. He left me a message.
So there we have a pattern. Honestly, I leave my ringer off a lot of the time, so I didn't even hear the call come in. This is unnecessary language. This is convincing language rather than conveying.
I called him at 11:42 and left him a message.
Did you notice the I called? That's sensitive because it's repeated, and then she's very specific on the time. And she's specific on these two times in particular, and I think this could be the murder window, and that's why she exhibits this sensitivity.
Just saying, okay, I want to talk about school for Ben, and I assume I'll see you at 4:30 today. When I figured he's going to take the kids swimming,
right,
and he'll drop them at the house at 4:30.
And I believe that she knew that this assumption of hers that they're meeting later today at 4:30, I believe she knew that wouldn't happen.
30.
Okay, so in other words, the whole meeting at 10:30 or 11:15
Just didn't happen.
Right, okay. All right. Let me get this. There's a lot of information on here, okay? It'd probably be easier if I read it to you.
Fine.
Okay, I, Wendi Adelson, and I got to change this.
Adelson.
I know, I got to change that.
It's okay.
It's very important to get the names right.
It's Adelson.
Actually, it's spelled right. I said it wrong. Adelson. Do hereby authorize and give my permission to Investigator Isom, who has identified himself to me as a law enforcement officer with the necessary assistance of a digital forensic examiner to make a full and complete search of my cell phone or other digital media, along with data located on additional data sources, locations such as connected to, at, and were at the Tallahassee Police Department. That's the address. I have been advised that law enforcement are engaged in investigation concerning an alleged violation of federal or state law pertaining to a shooting incident. I do further authorize and give permission to take from myself.
So we're now half an hour into this police interview, and she's continuing to act like a child with strategic little cries.
Phone located at 230 47th Avenue.
I'm sorry, is that the police station?
That's where we're at right now. Yeah. Computers.
But notice that the performance drops when her little legal mind recognizes where it's important to drop the act.
Cell phones, computer peripherals, digital media data, which may or may not have a connection, value, or relevance as evidence in said investigation. The above law enforcement officer has fully and fairly advised me on rights as...
Have you noticed it's all stopped as she spends nearly all of her cognitive energy on analyzing this legal document that she's about to sign.
Follows. I have the right to refuse consent to the search of my property. I have the right to consult with an attorney or any other person of my choice prior to giving them consent and permission to search the above described property. Any cellular phones, computers, computer peripherals, and digital media or data, along with any data located on these items or on additional digital storage locations such items can connect to, found by said officers in the course of their search, can be used as evidence against me or others in a court of law. I fully understand and appreciate these rights and wish it be specifically understood that I'm hereby giving consent permission to conduct the search of the cellular phones, computers, computer peripherals, and digital media data, along with any data located on any additional digital storage locations such items can connect to, solely because of my desire to freely and voluntarily cooperate and assist in this investigation. I have not been promised anything or been threatened or coerced in any way, nor has any inducement of any kind been held out to me in return for this consent and permission to search.
Okay, so she's now seen and read over the shoulder and has heard the document, so it's now time to start crying again. This is pure gaslighting, pure manipulation 101.
Okay, can I have your phone now?
Yeah. Stupid question, but
Go ahead.
are you gonna give it back?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I feel like I need to help
No,
my
you're gonna
family.
get,
What's going on?
no, you're gonna get it back. It's just gonna, I'm trying to expedite this now so I can get it back to you
I
sooner.
understand.
Be right back.
I wonder what's going through her mind. Certainly there's no need to cry anymore, is there? Because he's not in the room.
Okay, Wendy. Let me get your.
That's the friend I was with calling. Do you want to just decline it? I guess I shouldn't talk to anyone right now.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't you talk to anyone right now, Wendy? Have you got something to hide?
Is there someone I can talk to about what to tell my kids?
Yes, well, we're going to get to that. Give me your phone number.
Okay, so this is again performance architecture, acting like a child, manipulating the detective.
On this phone again?
954-803-0079.
Can I get Daniel's cell phone number?
202-276-8200.
202-276-8200. Okay. Do you know his passcode to unlock his phone?
I don't.
You don't know it?
I don't have a passcode. When
Right.
I was with him, he didn't have the kind of phone that needed a passcode.
Okay.
But he's gotten an iPhone since then, so
Yeah.
he may have one. And I can't remember, like actually I remember his passcode to something, but it was like a word in Hebrew with the word one, so it's a word and not numbers. I could give you my children's birthdays in case you want to try that. I really have no idea what it would be.
Okay, let's go ahead with the children's birth.
Notice her little hyperventilating technique that she has practiced over many years, I would suspect.
So Ben is 729, so it could be like 0729.
What year?
2009. Lincoln is 10/13/2010. They're 14 months apart.
10/13 of 10?
Yeah. I was complaining about him at the lunch.
Sorry.
So with her friend, she was complaining about him.
Right back.
Go ahead.
She hates this man. So this entire performance is, well, I can see through it. Hopefully you can see through it. Perhaps there are people that think she's genuine. Please do in the comments if you see this as being genuinely in trauma and shock and upset, and a loved one has passed away. Please do say, but I think most people see through this. And so Therefore, we have to ask the question, why is she doing this pantomime performance? And she forgets, sometimes she performs for the camera because she's aware it's being recorded and she's aware that it will be used possibly later in trials. But very often she forgets to do this camera performance, and then when the detective's out of the room, the crying immediately stops. This is her hyperventilating technique because he's going to be coming back soon, so best to get ready, eh?
What is going on?
So I wonder what she's thinking about. She's already tried to get out of the interview. If there's part 1 and 2 that you might not have seen, but already at the beginning she attempted to get out of the interview. The detective shut it down straight away. So she's going to have another go. She's thinking. She's forgotten about the performance.
Okay, they're going to take your phone, they're going to hook it up to a machine, download the information. It doesn't take a whole lot unless you got a lot of stuff on there.
I don't know what's on there.
She's just said, I don't know what's on there. This is her own phone. Deception detected.
I have to use the bathroom.
Okay, no problem.
Is there?
Yep.
Is it close by?
Yeah, it's real close by. Okay, you can leave your stuff there. It's not going anywhere, and I'll escort you right around the corner here. Okay.
Okay.
Do you want some water after that?
Okay.
Okay.
Can't leave.
Not yet. We got somebody here?
There, she said, can I leave? No, not yet.
Seriously? Okay, I'll hold it.
Sorry.
And there she says, seriously? And yeah, you're not leaving now. And then she goes into the childish linguistics of, I'll hold it. This is manipulation. This isn't an accident. She's used to the child act, and so used to it, in fact, that she can even use the linguistics. I'll hold it. Adults don't say that to another adult.
Okay.
We just have to eliminate everything. Okay, you know what she's saying, right?
I'm assuming I'm a suspect.
No, you're not a suspect. I'm not. I don't consider you a suspect. I asked you to come up here. You came up here voluntarily. I'm not read you Miranda. You are not under arrest. You are the closest thing to family that I have to Daniel right now. Okay? You are.
I'm so sad for. I was thinking about something else.
Notice she can't complete the sentence. She can't quite blatantly lie to his face. She says, I'm so sad for, I can't, and that's it. That's as far as she can get.
He told me that he comes, we have week on, week off, but on Wednesdays we do an overnight.
Right.
And he told me that he might have some work up in New York and he might not be back in time for the Wednesday overnight. So there's no way that he did this because he had all kinds of plans like for next week that were.
She's already being told multiple times in the first half an hour of this police interview that this isn't a suicide. She's been told this multiple times, but she keeps going back to the he couldn't have hurt himself. It's part of her pantomime because she's fully aware that she shouldn't know at first that he's been shot. But her brain keeps going back to that act. She keeps going back to act one instead of recognizing she's been told many times that he's been hurt on purpose. So she keeps going back to act one. This is a deceptive marker.
He would not hurt himself.
No.
Okay. All right.
It wasn't him.
Okay. He has no reason to hurt himself or anything along that.
No, I mean,
okay.
I can see him being really sad when we first got divorced.
Right.
But now he's got Amy and he loves those boys.
Okay.
And things were really good for him. There's no way he did this to himself.
Okay. I believe you.
Yeah, I believe you too.
Which really scares me because it means there's someone out there that's willing to do this to him, and I'm scared for the kids.
Okay, I understand.
So now she's using the children to try and manipulate her way out of this interview.
And they're at school right now, and I want to.
There's an officer at the school.
Okay.
The kids are fine.
Okay.
Okay. There's no.
This officer is good. He keeps shutting every time she attempts an escape route. He shuts her down immediately.
No, I'm gonna tell them.
Well, we're gonna help you with that. Okay. But here's what I have to do right now, and I'm just trying. I want to get this down, Pat. I know you don't have your phone to refer to.
Okay.
But that's okay.
You'll have all that information.
Right, because I'll check that against what you tell me.
Okay.
Your last phone conversation. Okay, your last personal contact, in other words, in person with Daniel, was when?
He goes by Danny.
Danny, okay.
No one.
Okay, let's have a look at the analysis in detail. So, in statement analysis, we mark up the document using different colors so that we can see patterns more easily. For instance, where we see a pronoun missing, where the person removes themselves from the statement. So rather than saying, I went to the cinema, they might say, went to the cinema. So we would recognize that they've removed the I pronoun. Where we have hedging, we use a gold marker. Where we have tense changes, so people use present tense rather than past tense very often when they're fabricating, but we do need a baseline. In blue, I mark the becauses and the so's and the sinces and other sensitivity markers, which are reasons why, where they are justifying. And pink, where words are repeated and where that becomes sensitive. And green for time, for missing time in particular, both subjective and objective. So, excuse me. Adelson, so well, this word is often used to purchase extra cognitive time, so we put in a flag. Here we see, I think this is a transcript error, it's only the one before actually, but then it's used again here. So it is sensitive indeed. We have our first time. So notice the patterns rather than us going through word for word what we've just heard. Notice how the patterns develop. This is the detective reading through the legal agreement. This is interesting. She's very sensitive about the passwords. Okay, so that was the pattern. Now let's do some deeper analysis. So the precisely stated times, and she gets her phone out. This is unprompted. The detective hasn't asked. She gets the phone and starts to prove these times. This is very, very important for Wendi. 9:02. He called me at 9:02. She wants to establish this. 11:42. I called him. Look, Mr. Detective, look at my phone. Can you see? It says 11:42. This is convincing behavior, not conveying. And where we see convincing, we normally see deception. So we have to ask why. The 2-hour 40-minute gap between these two communications, 9:02 and 11:42, requires examination when viewed alongside the morning timeline. And do you remember in part 2 we had the, or was it part 1? I forget. We had the alibi architecture. 8 a.m. Best Buy repair technician arrives. 10 a.m. repair technician departs. She says, this 2-hour window I'm not convinced about. I think the repairman left a lot earlier than that. 10 a.m. to 12:15. Subject claims to work alone on academic paper. And then she goes to lunch. So we have inability to pinpoint her down to a specific timeline, but here she's more than happy to. And that is a change of behavior within her own times. So we have, here we go, yes, precision versus approximation pattern. The subject demonstrates precise recall to the minute for phone communications, but more importantly, she volunteers it unprompted. So it becomes doubly important to her, and won't be pinned down to a timeline apart from that. The precision of recall regarding specific communication times, contrasted with approximations about personal activities, suggests these phone times hold particular significance for the subject. The 2-hour period between witness departure and alibi establishment represents an unaccounted time frame during which critical events may have occurred. Temporal analysis identifies periods requiring additional investigative focus. The subject's voluntary mention of specific times, particularly when framing a significant gap in witnessed activities, warrants detailed examination of activities during the unaccounted period. Additional examination of the subject's communication reveals age-inappropriate language regression during moments of institutional pressure. I'll hold it. Child-appropriate bathroom language. Stupid question. Are you going to give it back? Seeking reassurance in a juvenile manner. Repeated permission-seeking behaviours throughout the interview. The subject alternates between sophisticated legal inquiries, Miranda rights, detention status, and regressive communication patterns. And the oscillation occurs specifically during interactions with an authority figure of paternal age demographic. Okay. The linguistic pattern suggests calculated vulnerability displays alternating with strategic information gathering. The regression to childhood language patterns occurs selectively during moments requiring institutional compliance while maintaining adult cognitive function for legal self-protection. The selective nature of language regression combined with the maintained legal sophistication indicates potential manipulation of authority dynamics rather than genuine psychological breakdown. This pattern warrants consideration in assessment of subject cooperation and statement reliability. So, Wendi is a lawyer whose responses oscillate. Oh my God, I'm so sad for, I can't. The incomplete breakdown of that sentence. I'm scared for the kids. Yeah. Genuine grief doesn't switch off for legal calculations. The speed of transition between emotional display and strategic thinking reveals calculated performance. A truly devastated person cannot simultaneously process trauma and assess legal jeopardy. In this part of the interview, we don't see as extreme so's and becauses, but it's there. We had that triple I pronoun breakdown. Yeah, the word left we always look for in statement analysis. So most of the time it's genuine, and most of the time it's because they're rushing or there was traffic. But a good third of the time there is withheld information. And where there's no rushing context, and there isn't here, I believe she's withholding critical information about departure times and activities. So we always look for this left. The Miranda right question keeps happening. Somebody in the comments suggested that she wanted the Miranda rights to be read so that she can then leave and end the interview without it appearing uncooperative. She even says, "Can I leave?" in the same way that she attempted to in part 1 and 2. And then attempts to use the children after she's denied. So manipulative. Complete inversion of expected priorities. The victim welfare is absent, legal self-protection is dominant. Despite the detective ruling out suicide, many times the subject repeatedly argues he wouldn't do this to himself. There's no way he did this to himself. It wasn't him. It's interesting, isn't it? She keeps going back to Act 1. She's aware that she should have said this in the first minute, having been told, there's been an incident, he's been shot, but she keeps going back to it, even though she's been very clearly told that this is a murder, deliberate harm. She's performing discovery of information already provided. This reveals guilty knowledge of the murder method and the need to ensure suicide theory is dismissed without appearing to have prior knowledge. The missing victim advocacy is all there. Complete absence of expected victim-focused language. She is detached. She's cold, actually. Cold, manipulative, gaslighting. And she's orchestrating. She is, in my opinion, the conductor. And she's prepared for this interview. She says that she doesn't know what's on her phone as well. That was a very interesting sentence. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this part of the analysis. If you haven't watched part 1 and 2, please do so. We're going deep into this police interview, and when we put all the parts together, I think we're going to see such an enormous amount of forensic linguistic evidence, in my opinion, proving guilt. And that is the purpose for this analysis. Okay, I look forward to speaking with you in the comments.